I may be a guild receptionist, but I'll solo any boss to clock out on time. Yeah, that's quite a mouthful, so I'll just call this one Girumasu. And as for my thoughts on this anime, saw the first episode and the story was as the title has narrated. Tried the second and third episodes and it's definitely one of those anime where you don't need to think as much in order to get what's happening here. So that makes it accessible at least to a much wider audience. And that is one of the reasons as to why I liked it. Now, I was thinking, this show was decent, it's not trying to be anything more than what the author has intended, but as soon as I went to my anime list and read it for the procedural vibe check, it turns out that there's quite a bunch of people who are disappointed in this anime, and they even went as far as pointing out every instance of bad writing that can be found in Girumasu. And for the record, most of the allegations are reasonable enough, but clearly we have a situation. I and many others like this anime, but it has its fair share of criticism, so where does that leave us? After giving it a few hours of rationalizing the situation at hand, I've managed to find the explanation as to why this had happened. You see, at least these days, when I watch anime, I never go and watch a show with a set of expectations or standards to use as measurement tools in checking if I'm going to like a show or not. And most of the people who criticized Girumasu actually did just that. That's not how I roll. What I do instead is that whenever I watch an anime, I watch it with the sole intention of understanding what the author is trying to achieve with its story. I'm trying to see what its objectives are as an anime, and from there, I'll try to find its value based on the execution of its objectives. Girumasu from the get-go was never intended to compete with the more nuanced fantasy shows such as Frieren or Mushoku Tensei. It has a singular gimmick, which is Alina's insistence to work as a guild receptionist, and she would do everything to protect that work, regardless of her full opinion of what being a guild receptionist entails. So where are we going with this? It simply means that regardless of the quality of the other aspects of the anime, be it the writing, the animation, pacing, and other metrics, so long as the story progresses in a way that keeps Alina's job as a guild receptionist at the forefront, everything else is just background fluff. I understand that Alina definitely should have demanded more from her boss if the endgame was to simply have a boatload of free time while still having enough wealth to sustain her day-to-day. I also understand that Jade shouldn't have accepted Rufus' request to join Silver Sword, considering that his threats of blackmail wouldn't do much at all. But here's the thing. Anyone can keep score of how many questionable writing decisions Girumasu will portray. But at the end of the day, the anime's only intention is to show Alina doing everything she can to maintain her status quo as a guild receptionist. And so long as that's what we're seeing, nothing else matters really. So in summary, there's currently a divide that's happening in regards to whether this anime is good or not, and the cause for that divide is simply a matter of differing methodologies in watching anime. So yeah, that's about it for me. I like the show for what it's trying to do, and until next time then everyone.